They give us a long-winded problem in terms of how they write it out to kind of make it confusing. So these are the type of problems that you want to read once, see if you can get a hold for it, and then skip and come back if you feel confused, because it's not that hard to do, though it could be a little bit harder to understand, and you don't want to be wasting time trying to figure it out your first go around. You'll understand it better when you come back to it with extra time. And what they're essentially saying here is that if we know that this is the formula for the measure of an exterior angle of a regular polygon, and we know that and notice how they break this up: measure A in degrees of an exterior angle, and n is the polygon sides, the number of sides. And then later on, like this is where they talk about A, and what they're telling us here is that A now equals 50, and we can now, rewrite this equation then as n times 50 is equal to 360. Well, if you want to know how many numbers of sides that is, we can just isolate that by getting n by itself by saying n equals 360 over 50. Now what they want to know is the greatest number of sides it can have. So really we want to think about this as n is less than or equal to whatever this simplifies to. And we can then write this as n is greater than is less than or equal to 36 over 5, because we can take out these zeros. And 36 divided by 5, well, I know 5 times 7 is 35. So this is going to be like 7.5. And what I could take from that is that I have to have a whole number of sides. I want to know the greatest number of sides. So that's why we wanted it to be less than, because if we say greater than, then we can go up all the way to infinity. But by saying less than, we know that it has to be 7.5 or less. What is the greatest number of, when you start going down? Well, obviously the greatest number would be 7.5, but that's impossible to have for a number of sides. It has to be a whole number. So the whole number is 7. Alternatively, you can plug in these answer choices and see which one gives you a number that doesn't go over 360. And what I mean by that is if we know that n times a has to equal 360, and we know that a is 50, we can now rewrite this as n times 50 equals 360, and then you can just plug in the answer choices that you have. So I'll actually, just for the sake of time, you can see this takes time, so I'm actually, just for the sake of this video, to be quicker, I'm going to replace all these n's with the answer choices that they give us. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And what we notice is that 8 times 50 would give us 400. So that and then we'd essentially want to know which one of these is less than. But you know what? Let's just keep it equals, so that way we can keep it a little bit easier to think about. 8 times 50, that equals 400, and that is more than 360, so that can't be the case. So you know what? We will want to put the inequalities here. So I'll put the inequalities here. I'll move these over a bit. All right, and so 5 times 50, does that give us a value? Yeah, that's less than 360. It does, because it's 250, right? And then this becomes 300, and then this is 350. And all these are less than 360, but the greatest number of sides that we get is this third option here, 7.